Collins running out of real estate. Heads back upfield. 25 to the 30. The 35 to 40. The 45 to 50. He has only Kovalevsky to beat. Gets through him. The 10 and touchdown for Collins.
Duarte looks to throw. He fires toward the goal line. And that is caught by Kadeem Wilson for a game-winning Gators touchdown.
Back on in, here's Yoxon. Yoxon to the backhand, trying to go to the front, makes the move and shot, and he scores!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the Profs will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
He sends one on goal and he scores! Jonah Copray scores for the second time tonight.
And it is a power play goal! The pressure is there. Wilson putting it in the end zone. It is up for grabs. Did someone come down with it? No, incomplete. The Pharaohs are the 2022 EFA champions.
Live from South Shore Little League in Staten Island, New York, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. Today, in our championship game, Massapequa Coast Little League takes on East Greenbush-Castleton Little League. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman, alongside my broadcast partners Nick Bavona and Andrew Rotundo. And Andrew, we saw each of these teams come from behind to win their respective semifinals matchups yesterday to earn a spot in today's championship game. Now they face one another in a rematch of an extra inning marathon that you covered earlier in the week.
Oh, yeah, and what a game this is going to be, Joe, for the championship. And the energy is going to be high all around for both these sides. As you said, both these teams coming from behind. But the big thing for me is Massapequa's only loss so far in this tournament has come to EGC. And that's going to play a big role today. Massapequa is going to want to ride that energy of winning this whole thing for the last 2 years. And they're going to want to find a way to get through EGC here today.
And Nick, taking a look back at yesterday's semifinals, let's start with our first game of the day between Massapequa Coast and South Shore. In front of a Staten Island crowd that was largely behind South Shore, Massapequa Coast fell behind 3-0 in the first inning. However, Massapequa Coast starter Mateo Pipia settled in and went on to pitch a great game, while the offense would go on to score 5 unanswered runs.
And they only allowed that one hit, being that 3-run homer in the first inning. But what a comeback to win that was for Massapequa Coast. It looked like early on South Shore was going to take that game and win after a 3-0 lead. But Massapequa Coast kept clawing their way back, made it a game. They made it 3-1, then got 3 runs in the second inning, would add another run going into the 6th, won that game 5-3, and now they have a chance to reenact some revenge on EGC, the only loss they have in pool play.
Like Massapequa, EGC fell behind in their game yesterday against Plainview. However, they escaped a bases-loaded jam, allowing only 1 run, took the lead 4-3 in the 5th, and scored 11 runs in a monster 6th inning, all on their way to a 15-3 victory.
And you know, Joe, that's very surprising as the game was going on. That was a very close game, very tight, very intense, and I thought Plainview actually had a shot in that game up until that late force that scored 11 runs. That half inning almost took a half an hour to get through, and you know, that offensive onslaught by EGC is a huge reason why they've earned their spot here today in the championship.
During pool play, EGC was unbeaten and only trailed for half an inning. Nick, what has made them so good through 4 games in this tournament, and what should we expect from them today as they look to make it 2 for 2 against a Massapequa Coast team that has had plenty of experience in these big games?
Well, I think what they need to do is try to fix the mistakes they had in that game they had against Massapequa Coast, because we mentioned it. EGC had a lead, let Massapequa Coast get back into it. It almost lost, but thankfully for the EGC fans, they won in extra innings. I think what we saw in yesterday's game, they had a good amount of pitching from Tyler Seeberger. They had great offense, as we mentioned, those 11 runs in the 6th inning. That at one point it was a 1-run game, and EGC emphatically made it that Plainview had no chance going into the bottom of the 6th inning. If East Greenbush-Castleton is going to have a chance to win this game and beat them twice. They're going to need to do a lot of what they did yesterday and get another good pitching performance.
Massapequa Coast came from behind yesterday to beat South Shore, and earlier in the tournament, they came from behind to take the lead late in their game against this EGC team. However, they couldn't secure the comeback victory and lost in extra innings 9-5. Andrew, what do they have to do today to make sure they knock off EGC to secure the state championship?
Well, persistence is key for Massapequa. They need the run support. They had those 5 runs, but it was tight late in the game when it was 5-5, and they just couldn't get really on base in those extra innings, and that was the difference for EGC. And Massapequa needs to stay composed pitching-wise right from the get-go. They need to get the bats going early to support the pitching, and they can't look back from there because it's now or never, Joe.
No question about it, Andrew. And the good news for both of these teams coming into this game is that neither had to use much pitching in yesterday's games. Massapequa Coast got a lengthy outing from Mateo Pipia, and EGC got a solid outing from Tyler Seaberger before the bullpens closed the door. So often to this point in the tournament, we've seen starting pitchers deliver strong outings only for the game to get away once a team is forced to go to the bullpen. That was not the case for these two teams yesterday, and that was a big reason each came away with the win.
And now you go into this game, guys, where you have a full rested team in terms of starting pitching and bullpen help. So now that allows you to use a lot more relievers in a game like this where if you're in a certain situation where maybe it's bases loaded and you need a big out from a guy that you know is reliable, they have that option today. Those pitching performances from yesterday could be the reason why one of these two teams will win a championship.
During pool play, teams had to worry about pitch counts and managing the rest for their pitching staff with room to adjust if the situation called for it. However, beginning with yesterday's semifinal, there was no tomorrow for either of these teams if they didn't win. Today, there is one other issue these managers had to contend with, the potential for rain in the forecast, which forced this game to move up 1 hour. We had heavy rain ahead of getting set up here at South Shore this morning.
Yeah, Joe, and luckily it's definitely cleared up here as we were setting up. Like you said, we got some heavy rain, but cleared up quickly, and it looks like it's going to be a good day for a good game here, especially for a championship.
The managers are at home plate, speaking with the umpires and exchanging lineup cards. So with just a few minutes to go until first pitch, we will take a quick break. When we come back, we will turn it over to public address for the introduction of starting lineups and the playing of the national anthem. Coming up next, East Greenbush-Castleton Little League takes on Massapequa Coast Little League for the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship right here on the PDF Sports Network. And we are back from South Shore Little League on Staten Island. And in just a few moments, public address will introduce the starting lineups and the national anthem will be played. So at this time, we will turn it over to the in-house public address announcer, starters for our two championship teams getting set to take the field for the first time today. This is coverage of the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship exclusively on the PDF Sports Network.
Representing your visiting team from East Greenbush-Castleton Little League. Leading off, third baseman, number 3, Des White. At shortstop, number 1, Tyler Seaberger. Batting third, number 15, center fielder Carter LaGrave. Your extra hitter, number 16, Alex Darian. Number 99, in right field, Tyler Charlin. In left field, number 23, Sam Greco. At first base, number 5, Trent Sale. And your pitcher for today, number 21, Carter Stavely. At second base, number 18, Eli Parkinson.
Today.
Extra hitter, number 44, Henry Round. Your catcher, number 2, Jack Connolly. And extra hitter, number 8, Andrew Lombard. The coaches for today, Don Anselin, Sam Greco, and your manager from East Greenbush is Joe Franchini. Representing the home team today, Massapequa Coast, Little League. Leading off, the pitcher, number 99, Ryan Land. At shortstop, number 52, Gavin Weiss. Playing second base, number 5, Jackson Henchy. Your cleanup hitter today, number 2, playing first base, Brady Hunt. At third base, number 14, Mateo Pipia. In right field, number 12, Harrison Smith. And your catcher, number 3, Tommy Tabone. Extra hitter, Louis Greco, number 13.
I started to change it instead of changing this and this.
In center field,
Yeah,
number
I'm a little
18,
loud.
James Steck. In left field, number 87, Andrew Savalos. Your extra hitter, number 11, Joey Sessa. And extra hitter, number 30, Carter Kemper. Your coaches for today, Ryan Kemper, Adam Weiss, and your manager from Massapequa Coast is John Henchy. And ladies and gentlemen, your umpires for today's game at first base, Scott Skonieczny. At second base, Danny Kabuchius. At third base, Dominic Caracappa. And your home plate and umpire in chief for today's game is Brian Meisner.
And we are back from South Shore Little League. Joe Foreman rejoining you alongside Andrew Rotundo and Nick Bavona on the call of this 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. And we have the starting lineups first for the visiting team in today's game, East Greenbush-Castleton Little League. Leading off is the third baseman, number 3, Des White. Batting second is the shortstop, number 1, Tyler Seaberger. Batting third is the center fielder, number 15, Carter LeGrave. Batting fourth is extra hitter, number 16, Alex Therian. Batting fifth is the right fielder, number 99, Tyler Charlin. Batting sixth is the left fielder, number 23, Sammy Greco. Batting seventh is the first baseman, number 5, Trent Sales. Batting eighth is the pitcher, number 21, Carter Snavelli. Batting ninth is the second baseman, number 18, Eli Parkinson. Batting 10th is extra hitter, number 44, Henry Rounds. And batting 11th is the catcher, number 2, Jack Connolly. Batting 12th is extra hitter, number 8, Andrew Bombard. Chants of EGC from the East Greenbush-Castleton supporters in the stands. They are seated along the third base line. Massapequa Coast fans seated along the first base line.
Very lively crowd so far here today. That we are in tune for what could be a great championship game here at South Shore Little League.
And beautiful weather, too. Yesterday, pretty sure it got up to 100 degrees over at Great Hills.
Felt like it.
It sure did. It was a hot one.
If the viewers could see my face, they would know.
Nick is wearing all 100 degrees all over his face right now.
Oh, yeah.
Face, hands, arms, everywhere.
I was covered in a jacket. I'm wearing the full force of 100 degrees on pale white skin on each of my hands. All that was exposed yesterday, great kills. It was a hot one. Andrew, you called it yesterday. We posed the question to you during the game. Who do you think would pitch in this game for Massapequa Coast? And you got it. It is indeed Ryan Land. Now, we have not seen Carter Snovelli pitch yet in this tournament, if I'm not mistaken. He gets the start for EGC. We will get a chance to see him take the mound in the next half inning.
Ryan Land kept it close in that game against East Greenbush on Tuesday, Game 2 and Day 2 for Massapequa. Let's see if he can do that again here in the championship. Like I said in the pregame, Joe, it's now or never.
Obviously, do or die for both teams here today. As Ryan Land continues to take his warm-up tosses, Des White gets set to step into the box, and he was just a bit early, as the home plate umpire tells him at least one more for the Massapequa Coast starting pitcher. Now, we saw Land's ability to swing the bat in the home run derby. He's been hitting atop the Massapequa Coast lineup as well. Was 2 for 3 at the plate yesterday. Drove in a run in the Massapequa Coast victory over South Shore. As for Des White, he had an RBI double in that huge 6th inning for EGC, 11 runs. As White looks at that pitch inside, and we are underway from South Shore. White showing bunt and looks at a strike.
White overall in this tournament, guys, has been very good for this EGC lineup. It's had some big hits for them. We'll look to start this game off early and get them another big hit right here.
And White takes inside. He's ahead 2-1. That's chopped toward the right side. Sliding stop at second. Throw to first in time. Jackson Henchy with a nice play on the right side of the infield. And there's one away.
Well, what a way to open this game and gain some momentum there. Jackson Henchy, what an effort to get down in the dirt. Grab that real quick. That ball was hit hard. No problem for him. Gets it over to first for the first out.
We've seen a lot of good defensive plays so far in this tournament, as that is sliced foul by Tyler Seeberger. Seeberger was 2 for 4, doubled in a run yesterday. Unsurprisingly, that RBI double came in the 6th inning. An 11-run inning for EGC over Plainview, as that's chopped straight to first. Easy play over there for Brady Hunt, and there are quickly 2 gone.
It's exactly what you want if you're Massapequa and Ryan Land. 2 quick outs to open this game, and it's exactly how you gain some momentum to get this game going.
That's all this game is about, guys. It's all about getting momentum. We saw how big that played a factor in both of these teams' wins yesterday at Great Kills.
Okay, so we do have confirmation. The starting pitcher in this game for EGC is Snavely. Carter Snavely is the starting pitcher. We had that day 1, were corrected, and now have been corrected again. So it is indeed Snavely who will take the mound for EGC in the next half inning as Carter LaGrave fouls that one back. He's quickly in a 2-strike hole as Ryan Land looks for a 1-2-3 first inning. And that's hit well out to right field, but giving chase, Harrison Smith makes the catch on the run, and the side is retired. 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Land on the mound, and we head to the home half of inning number 1 with no score.
Attention local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
And we are back from South Shore Little League, where we have no score entering the bottom half of the first inning. Carter Snavely to the mound for EGC. And Andrew, I don't believe you've seen him pitch. Nick and I certainly did not see him pitch when we covered them on Monday. Did not get into the game yesterday. So our first look at Snavely in this tournament, and it comes in the championship game. I have the lineup. He will face for Massapequa Coast. Leading off is the pitcher, number 99, Ryan Land. Batting second is the shortstop, number 52, Gavin Weiss. Batting third is the second baseman, number 5, Jackson Henchy. Batting fourth is the first baseman, number 2, Brady Hunt. Batting fifth is the third baseman, number 14, Mateo Pipia. Batting sixth is the right fielder, number 12, Harrison Smith. Batting seventh is the catcher, number 3, Tommy Tabone. Batting eighth is extra hitter, number 13, Louis Krakow. Batting ninth is the center fielder, number 18, James Steck. Batting 10th is the left fielder, number 87, Andrew Savalos. Batting 11th and 12th are extra hitters, number 11, Joey Sessa, and number 30, Carter Kemper. As Snavely's first pitch is taken for a strike.
He faces opposing pitcher Ryan Land here with the first at bat of the game for him.
That pitch misses inside to even up the count at 1.
And then a nice 1-2-3 first inning. We'll start the bottom of the first inning off with a leadoff hit.
Land got on to lead off the game for Massapequa Coast against South Shore yesterday as he grounds that one foul. I'll have to chase that baseball down into the right field corner. The left field corner, I did it already. I stopped myself. It's something about this venue being seated right behind the wall. Just something about this place.
Just got to turn yourself.
I'd be facing backwards.
Yeah.
As that's taken out of the zone. Count even at 2. I haven't been here since Tuesday night. It's hard to believe it's been 4 days. So that's fouled away.
It's hard to believe that this is Championship Saturday. It feels like pool play just started.
This week flew by, and it's been a great time for all of us here at PDF. We've really enjoyed covering this week's games. We've been treated to a lot of great baseball as well. That certainly helps, especially when you're calling the game in 100-degree heat. Here comes the 2-2, and that's hit well out to the left, but Land just got under it, and Greco makes the catch. And how about that delivery from Snavely on that pitch?
Yeah, and Land was able to solve it and get right underneath it. And like you said, ball was hit well, but Greco was right there for it. Didn't have to move much. And that's the first out.
That's as unorthodox a pitching delivery as I've seen all week. And that has to throw off the hitters. He came extra sidearm on that 2-2 pitch to Land as that's tapped to third. Strong throw to first by White in time. 2 gone.
Nice job by White on that one, as he's able to get the play at third base, make a strong throw to first. And quickly now 2 away for EGC.
That will bring up Jackson Henchy. Henchy 1 for 2 in yesterday's game. Singled and scored in the first, and he looks at a called strike.
Also got the final inning of relief for Massapequa Coast in that win over South Shore.
That pitch is taken low. Well, Massapequa Coast in yesterday's game got a huge insurance run in the 5th, and that definitely helped Henchy, who pitched a clean 6th inning. That's hit slowly toward first. Race to the bag, and Henchy beats it out.
Well, great hustle by Henchy on that play. And I don't know if that's such a smart play from the first baseman there. Should have possibly made the toss.
I don't think there was a toss to be made. The only option was to let that ball keep rolling and give way to your second baseman. But
looked like Parkinson was right there with him, over even closer to first.
That's a tough decision to make in the moment. And that affords Massapequa Coast a 2-out base runner. As that ball was initially misjudged in center. Big recovery out there to make the catch, falling down to the outfield grass by LaGrave, and that will retire the side. 1 runner stranded in the home half of inning number 1. No score as we head to the second. And we're back for the top half of the second inning after a bit of a tumultuous end to the bottom half of the first. That ball hit out to center field, and initially LaGrave broke back on it. There is some wind here at South Shore today, and I think that played a role on that last fly ball.
Yeah, initially he went all the way back. Like you said, he was all the way at the wall, and then he had to run up for that as kind of took a stop in the air and had to run up and track it down and basically slid back, too, as he went for the grab. So nice effort there in center field, nonetheless, to end the inning.
4, 5, and 6 for EGC in the top half of the second. Therian, Charlin, Greco. First pitch from Ryan Land, fouled straight back. And Therian's behind 0-1.
1-2-3 first inning for Ryan Land on the mound. Will now come back out here for the second inning as he looks to give his team some quality innings in this game to save some bullpen for the later on.
And that ball is smoked out into left field for a base hit. And EGC has the leadoff man on here in the second.
Well, Therian gets all of that. That one's ripped right into left in front of Savalos. And like you said, first hit of the game for EGC in a great way with a leadoff man.
Therian reached base 3 times in 4 at-bats, 3 official plate appearances yesterday as that's bunted foul. Tyler Charlin looking to move him up, perhaps with a bunt attempt and maybe make a bid for a hit. That bunt popped up foul territory.
Well, guys, we saw yesterday how big the small ball was in terms of getting your runners into scoring position. Now, unfortunately for EGC, the 2 missed bunts right there now lead to an 0-2 count.
And Charlin looks at that pitch outside as they throw behind Therian at first, and he gets back. Charlin was hit by a pitch twice yesterday. Was officially 0 for 1 at the plate. And he swings and misses at that pitch for strike 3.
Well, there's the Ryan Land that I saw early in that game from EGC. He had, I'm not sure the exact number of strikeouts, but he was throwing some heat early in that game, and that's what kept it close.
That's chopped back to the mound, knocked down by Land. He goes to second, and Weiss kept his foot on the bag. What a play by pitcher and shortstop.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a play by both players. Land, in and out of the glove, was still able to track that down very quickly, get the throw over to second, and what a grab by Weiss. Just able to keep it in his glove and just able to keep his foot on the bag. Great effort.
Just the wherewithal to get the ball down and knock it down and then go to second on that play. That's a huge play and an out number 2 for Massapequa Coast.
That's a very aggressive play by Land, who knocked the ball down with his glove. Throw a bit high, but a great play by Weiss as well. And a decisive play on the mound by Land. That's how it's done. That's the only way you're getting that out in that spot.
That was driven right at him, and he almost caught it.
He did. Count 1-1 on Trent Sales, and he is hit by the pitch as Land lost his footing on the mound.
And you're hopeful that Sales is all right on that. He was another big part in that EGC win yesterday.
Sales appears okay. Looked like he took that one off the leg. That will put runners on first and second with 2 outs when the action resumes. And not only are the coaches for EGC checking on the batter Sales, but Land went down on that pitch as well after he delivered the ball.
Yeah, I looked away for a split second as Land also lost his footing, so I'm not sure where I saw the ball hit.
Carter Snavely, the batter. And he takes a called strike.
Another thing to point out, maybe hopefully he didn't get hurt on that ball that did come back at him and he had to try to get the glove up.
And that's hit toward the middle. Weiss there, and he steps on second base for the force to retire the side. EGC strands a pair in the second. No score, headed to the home half of inning number 2. Home half of the second inning about to get started from South Shore Little League. In the championship game of this 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship Tournament. No score between East Greenbush-Castleton Little League and Massapequa Coast Little League. Home team comes to bat. They will send 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. Pipia, Smith, Tabone.
What do you think, Joe? We've seen a theme throughout this tournament where it stayed scoreless and tight through the first 2, possibly 3 innings, and then really broke open after that, and it's looking to be the case here so far.
That pitch is swung on and missed. Perhaps Pipia got a small piece of it.
Another common theme we've seen is a lot of 2-out hitting, especially from yesterday. So it doesn't matter how many outs there are for these teams. They always seem to have good discipline at the plate and make these pitchers pay if they make a mistake.
And you mentioned that a lot of the teams have really picked it up at the plate later in games. Something that's often a point of emphasis is how many times a batting order gets to see a pitcher. At the Little League level, with a bigger lineup, batters get fewer looks at a pitcher over the course of a game, and I think that's certainly advantage pitching. That pitch is taken out of the zone for ball 3, so Snavely has fallen behind Pipia, the first batter, here in the bottom of the second, 3-1. And that's hit well to left, falling fast, and Greco makes the catch on the run. 1 gone in the inning.
Greco able to track that down and left. Wasn't close to it. And a good hustle to get over to it for another out.
Did look like that ball was going to drop in for a bloop single, but a good job, as you said, Andrew, from Greco to track that one down and run it in and make that catch for the first out of the inning.
What a job by Pat on camera tracking that ball. He had a better view than I did, as I'm obstructed by the wall in front of me. Harrison Smith at the plate here. He's behind 0-1. He made a running grab in the right field corner as that's hit to left again, falling fast, and that was basically a replay of what we just saw for the first out. 2 away.
And Greco does it again. Once again, has to track that ball down, falling fast. Got to run over and reach out. And Greco does a nice job. Second batter in a row.
Greco busy out there in left field. 2 away in the inning. Tommy Tabone, the batter. First pitch on its way, and that's hit hard on the infield, and that is through for a base hit.
Well, like Nick said earlier in this inning, we've seen a lot of 2-out action in this tournament. There you go. Tommy Tabone rips one up the middle, just on the infield, bounces through. And Massapequa in business to bring Krakow to the plate. 2 outs in the inning.
Krakow, as we know, a dangerous hitter. Was 1 for 2 at the plate yesterday. Singled in a run early in that game against South Shore.
If he's able to find the gap, guys, might have a chance to bring home that runner from first.
He takes a strike here. Pitch on its way, and Krakow out front. Swings and misses for strike 2.
Got him to chase on a ball pretty much in the dirt. Now quickly a 2-strike count.
0-2 on Krakow. And Krakow is out in front again, taps it back to the mound. Throw by Snavely in with plenty of time, and the side is retired. Massapequa Coast strands a runner in their half of the second. Still no score. Moving on to the third. And we're back from South Shore, but we still have no score entering the third inning. And in our first game of the day yesterday, by this point, we had 7 runs on the board. Early makings of a pitcher's duel here in our championship game.
And Ryan Land doing another nice job here, as this is the second time I'm seeing him on the mound. Let's see how he continues it. He's going to need the run support, though, as we're still scoreless through 2 full innings.
2 hits in this game, both belonging to Massapequa Coast.
UGC also has a hit.
They do have one. That is correct, Nick. I was about to get to that because there was a fielder's choice out at second later in the inning. I missed that hit. Had to have the runner out at second as well on my scorecard. The 3 total hits in the game, 1 belonging to EGC as they come to bat here in the third. They will send 9, 10, and 11 to the plate. Eli Parkinson will get things started. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes a strike.
So Parkinson also was very big in that game yesterday for EGC. Was a big part of that 11-run inning they had late in the game.
And Land lost his footing again as that was grounded right past him, but the throw to first is in time.
Well, Weiss with some nice vision to see that ball through as Land fell as that ball was hit on the ground through him. And that throw over to first by Weiss just in time. Great effort there from short.
And we did get some rain, as I mentioned before. Ahead of this game, we had a steady downpour for about 3 to 5 minutes. And perhaps that's impacting the condition of the mound, as Henry Rounds will be the batter. He quickly goes behind 0-1.
Viewers just got a second-hand look at that play from the shortstop right there. Good play from Weiss.
That's fouled back.
That throw was just in time, too. Weiss had to whip that ball.
Parkinson is a fast runner, so Weiss had to get there in time and make a quick throw.
Well, you can see it. The wind shaking our camera a bit as that's grounded up the middle for a base hit by Rounds. We had some early rain today, and we've gotten some wind as this game has moved along into the third.
The catcher, number 2, Jack Connolly.
Second hit of the game for EGC, and that will bring up Jack Connolly. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes outside.
Connolly had a bases-clearing double in that big inning for EGC yesterday. So would love to get another hit right here.
Connolly takes a strike. And Nick, that double drove in 3 runs in that huge 6th inning. Keep going back to that inning, as that's off the glove of the catcher, and that will allow the runner to advance. DeBone just couldn't squeeze it, and now EGC has a runner in scoring position with just 1 out.
Yeah, unfortunate for Tabone there, is just unable to squeeze it, and it slowly rolls away.
And now, guys, the umpires are going to meet, and I'm trying to think, are they looking at maybe catcher's interference? Was that a thing also? No, well, maybe not catcher's interference, but what could possibly be the conversation? If the runner was not able to advance the second?
All I can think of is the potential for catcher's interference, which we didn't see, and the potential that the runner may have left early, and that red flag still in the umpire's back pocket, so I don't think that was the case either. That's bunted toward third. Land comes up throwing, and Rounds is out. Another great defensive play by Ryan Land off the mound, and there are 2 away.
And that's big by Land, and he knew where he was going with that. He picked that ball up and got it to third, no doubt. And a big play by Land from the mound once again.
No hesitation by Land, and I said it before, that's what you have to do. Decisively throw to your base of choice as Land throws to first, and that will do it here in the top half of the third. A busy inning for Land out on the mound. He strands 1, still no score, headed to the bottom half of inning number 3. And we are back from South Shore Little League, but we are going to get another look at that play over at third base. A big play in that last half inning. Nicely done by Ryan Land. There you see him decisively throwing to third, and we thought perhaps the runner could have gotten the leg in there ahead of that tag. What'd you see, Nick?
I think at the end of the day, it was the right call on the field. They got the tag there. You saw the base also coming off the base path once the slide was made on the play. But I think the right call was made at the end of the day. I can understand maybe people thought he tagged the bag, but I saw it clear as day. It looked like he tagged his leg.
Well, the bag ended up in foul territory by about 2 or 3 feet.
It looked like Pipia was just, the throw was in plenty of time. Pipia was waiting right there for the tag, so don't think he made any mistake.
In real time, I thought for sure he was out, but there may have been some disagreement in the live chat, so we made sure to get another look at it.
That's a tough break, too, on that one, because EGC wanted to get that bunt down, and it worked. But the problem was it went towards the pitcher, and he was able to get it to third base. So the bunt just wasn't executed the way that EGC would have wanted it on that one, leading to a huge out from Massapequa Coast.
That pitch is taken out of the zone. Let's keep it classy in the chat, everyone, and remain civil. I really don't want to be the one that has to go over to my computer and start issuing those blocks, but Dave's watching at home. He's got his eyes on you.
We don't want to be pulling out Kevin Matumbos right now.
As a world-class troll myself, I can appreciate a good trolling, but let's keep it civil, no profanity in the chat.
We're all here to celebrate the game of baseball and why we all love it.
Count now full on James Steck as he looks to get on to lead off the bottom half of the third inning. That's chopped to first, and that gets by into right field. Tough hop for Sales over at first base, and we'll see how they score it.
Yeah, and you saw the frustration as Sales almost had that, just got through him. He got a piece of it with the glove. And Massapequa nonetheless has a runner on to open their half of the third.
Nikki B, we were not addressing you. Scroll up a bit in the comments.
I'm sure they weren't addressing me either.
We do have a Nikki B on the call, though. I don't think Nick goes by Nikki.
Is it me all along?
He has been known to go by Bivy.
I haven't. Someone. No. I'm not taking credit for that one.
Andrew Savalos at the plate here tries to lay down a bunt and sends that foul. He's quickly in a 2-strike hole.
Now, Joe, how would you mark that last play? Would you get that a hit?
I'd be inclined to go error there. I don't think that ball was hit too hard. It was a tough hop, but playing at regular depth, I think that's a play that probably needs to be made. I'd probably go E3 there. What do you think?
I would tend to agree on that one. Looking at it a little bit more, it did take a bounce, but I think the glove was down. Kind of one of the plays we saw yesterday where he was set and it looked like he was going to make the play, but it just bounced off of him and went into the outfield.
The 0-2 pitch coming, and that's hit sharply to third. Chance for 2, but the throw is wide of second base, and it sails into center field. Everyone is safe.
And White had his eyes set there for the double play. That ball was just too hard of a throw to second to handle, and that sails right into center. And now Massapequa with a huge chance with the speedy Sessa coming to the plate. Nobody out and 2 on.
Well, I think there's a good chance we see a bunt here, and EGC agrees. Look how far in White is playing over at third. Sessa shows bunt and pulls it back. Now, if these kids were my age playing, I would have appreciated our comment from earlier. I probably would have chuckled. But given the fact that we're covering Little League, we'll keep that out of the live chat. As that's bunted back to the mound. Barehand pickup by Snavely, but the throw is not in time.
Snavely hesitated a bit to run up and grab that ball. I'm not sure what he thought, as that ball might have changed direction or slowed up in the dirt in front of him on the mound. But nonetheless, bases loaded for Massapequa. What a chance here, as Snavely's going to get a visit on the mound.
His second look at that bunt single. And you see it, guys. It just rolls very slowly. And with Sessa's speed, he's going to easily be able to beat that out. And now, what a spot here from Massapequa Coast. Bases loaded, nobody out. EGC will have to get out of this. Now, remember, we had the same scenario for EGC yesterday, where they had bases loaded, nobody out, and pitching-wise, and they were able to get out of the jam. They'll have to do it again here to try to avoid the first run coming in.
Carter Kemper, the batter. Chance of "Let's Go Kemper" moments ago from the Massapequa Coast supporters, as that is chopped foul.
What a spot for the number 12 hitter in your lineup. With the bases loaded, nobody out, a chance to bring home the first runs of the game before the top of the order comes back up.
And on that last bunt, we spoke about it more than once yesterday. Sessa's speed, certainly a problem for defenses out there in the field. We saw him leg out a double yesterday that for just about anyone else would have gone for a single with a force, or at the very least, getting tagged out at second. That's taken outside.
Count now 1-1.
And Kemper trying to stay patient here. He knows with the bases loaded, nobody out, it's a huge chance to go ahead here.
If he hits one to the left side, it's going to be a nearly impossible play there, as that's taken down and away. Two balls and one strike the count on the Massapequa Coast extra hitter. And he looks at a strike.
One strike away from a huge first out. And then if you get a strikeout here, you have a chance of an ending double play with the next batter.
And we know how much you love those double plays.
Of course, always bring it up.
And the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
And nowhere to put the runner on, so you need a strike right here.
A potentially pivotal pitch in this game coming. And Kemper is hit by the pitch. That will force in the game's first run.
Well, not how I drew it up, Joe, but Massapequa will take it any way they can. That was an intense moment there, and ends up in a hit by pitch. Massapequa, once again, they'll take it any way they can. They have the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third.
Certainly not how they drew it up either, but they'll take it, as you said.
2 big errors in this inning have cost EGC a couple of outs. And the bases remain loaded, nobody out. Back to the top of the order for Massapequa Coast with Ryan Land at the plate.
This might be one of the scenarios, guys, where you've saved all this pitching up to this point, and with still nobody out, you might have to start thinking about warming up some players.
No action yet in either of the bullpens. Pitch count, 42 for Carter Snavely.
And he's quickly behind in this count, 2-0. And once again, he's in danger of bringing home another run without the ball being in play.
Land ahead here, 2-0. And he was nearly hit by the pitch.
What a dive out of the way there, or a duck, I should say.
I'm not sure what a fitting description for that was. Somehow avoided it. Here comes the 3-0. And that misses badly for ball 4.
Ryan Land earns the walk there, and once again, Massapequa taking runs any way that they can. They double the lead now with that walk. Still nobody out in the inning, and this is dangerous here for EGC going through the lineup for a second time. Still nobody out in the inning, and with the bases still loaded.
Gavin Weiss, the batter. He's been involved in a couple of big plays defensively in this game, now with a chance to give his team a larger lead at the plate. A base hit here could make it a 4-run game, potentially 5, as that's hit sharply to short. Flip to second for 1, and Parkinson had no play at first. A run comes in, and it's now 3-0 Massapequa Coast.
Well, Weiss did what he needed to do on that play, guys. He at least did bring home one of the runs to now give his team an early 3-0 lead here at the bottom of the third inning.
He also used the speed, able to reach on over at first and eliminate that double play.
Right.
Now 3-0 Massapequa.
So EGC gets the out at second, as that was bunted foul by Jackson Henchy. Henchy singled with 2 outs in the first inning. He was stranded. Base hit here would extend the lead to 4. White still playing in over at third. The 0-1 on its way. And that's hit to short. Another chance for 2, but a bit of indecision there. As Parkinson might not have been over to cover in time, Seeberger took it to the bag himself. A run scores, and it's now 4-0.
It looked like Seeberger actually was having a trouble getting the ball out of the glove. And I think that's what cost them on that play, and leading now to the 4th run for Massapequa Coast.
We've said it many times. Double play is really tough to turn, but if there was ever a chance, that was it right there. That ball was smoked. Brady Hunt at the plate. His team now leading by 4 runs. He's ahead in the count, 1-0. He takes a called strike. Comes the 1-1. That misses low. Two balls and 1 strike to count on the Massapequa first baseman. That's chopped foul. Snavely now 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. He's at 52 pitches.
He really needs a strikeout right here to get his team out of this jam, give them some breathing room, try to get back into this game.
That sails over his head.
Kind of a sidearm delivery on that one.
And we saw that earlier in the game.
What a grab by Connolly behind the plate there.
Comes to 3-2. And that's ripped foul.
Massapequa early on, guys, they're getting some good shots. They just have been hitting them foul into the gloves so far, so haven't been able to get it straightened out just yet. But if you're them, with still a lot of game left, gotta like their chances of getting some more runs in this game.
Well, considering the big inning, the pitch count for Snavely, not too bad, all things considered, as that misses low for ball 4, and that won't help.
We saw a lot of 2-out walks yesterday at Great Kills. There's another 2-out walk here today at South Shore. And again, with 2 outs, we'll see if Massapequa Coast can continue the trend in the tournament with 2-out hitting.
Mateo Pipia, the batter. And he looks at a strike. Pipia 0 for 1. Flew out in the second inning. That's popped up. In front of the mound, with catches made by Snavely to retire the side. Massapequa Coast strands a pair, but they score 4 times in the bottom half of the third. They now lead EGC 4-0. And we are past the midway point in this one. Start of the 4th inning from South Shore Little League. Massapequa Coast leading East Greenbush-Castleton Little League by a score of 4-0. Ryan Land has been strong out on the mound in this game, but there have been some big defensive plays that have helped keep EGC off the scoreboard.
Yeah, and on the other side of things, Massapequa had that big inning in the bottom of the third. Ryan Land's going to look to his defense and obviously to himself to keep the momentum moving and keep that energy from that big 4-run third to keep this a 4-0 game.
And think about all the runs that came in for Massapequa in that inning. You had a hit by a pitch, a walk, 2 fielder's choices leading to those 4 runs.
Well, they made back-to-back errors on consecutive balls put in play. They had the error on the grounder over to first base. That one may have been up for debate without replay looks. Tough to make those calls in real time. But there was certainly an error on the throw to second. They had the force there on the next ball put in play. And if both of those officially go down as errors, that completely changes the inning. And I'm not sure any runs score. I have to take a look here, but I don't believe more than 1 run would have scored.
And it's mistakes like those that you cannot afford when you're in a championship game like this.
It's back to the top of the order for EGC and looking to get back in this game. Definitely what you're looking for at the plate as that's hit up the middle and through for a base hit. Des White on to lead off the 4th.
Well, Des White and EGC looking for an answer here after giving up 4 in the bottom of the 3rd, and a great way to do it here with a leadoff single. And Sam Greco, important to note, he's warming up now in the bullpen for EGC.
And Tyler Seeberger turns out of the way of that pitch for ball 1. Seeberger grounded out to first, his first time up. Land comes set. And that pitch is taken low for ball 2.
If you're Massapequa, the runner already on first, don't want to allow a walk right here to give EGC an opportunity to come back.
Seeberger shows bunt, was taking all the way and looks at a strike. Here comes the 2-1. And that's low for ball 3.
Great opportunity here.
3-1 count for Seeberger, yeah.
And it looks like the home plate umpire is having a word with the Massapequa dugout.
You guys can hear those claps from the EGC crowd. They're trying to rattle land right here and force a walk.
The wind beginning to swirl here at South Shore. That's fouled back.
Seeberger took a big swing at that one. Now the count full at 3-2 right here.
Payoff pitch upcoming from Land. The 3-2. That's it out to center. And the catch is made by Steck for the first out.
Solid contact off the bat there. Steck right there for it. Right underneath it. And a big out for Massapequa Coast for the first one of the inning.
Now, we had some shout-out requests in the chat. The problem is, if we shout out one person who wants to be famous, we have to shout out everyone who wants to be famous, so we can't do that. So that pitch is swung on and missed, but we discussed it during the break.
We'll just give the shout-out as a whole a shout-out. The chat as a whole a shout-out.
I'm not quite sure that achieves the same objective. So that pitch is fouled straight back, and I saw some flinches up there in the press box.
Rookie.
Netting is awfully close to them.
It is.
No one heard my comment then?
I did not, actually.
I said rookie.
That's chopped to short. Weiss fields it cleanly. Throw to second for 1, but the turn and throw to first not in time. LaGrave reaches on a fielder's choice. They force out White at second base, and there are 2 away.
Well, nice work by Weiss. That was done cleanly on the turn to second. Got the easy out at second. And the throw to first just not in time, but a great effort by Weiss. And a big second out here for Massapequa.
Alex Therian at the plate. Therian 1 for 1. Comes the 1-0 pitch. That's taken outside.
EGC could really use a 2-out rally right here. Try to get back into this game.
Comes the 2-0. That sails over Therian's head for ball 3.
Well, big chance to do that here, Nick, with a 3-0 count for Therian, and we've seen EGC do it plenty of times here in the tournament.
Especially
as we
yesterday.
keep mentioning. Yeah.
A lot of their runs in that 6th inning did come with 2 outs.
And Therian looks at a strike, and that's a good point you make. We've seen a lot of rallies and big innings throughout the week in this tournament. We've seen, if I'm not mistaken, 3 innings where 10 runs or more were scored. Maybe 4. As Therian takes ball 4, but you both said it, a lot of that production has come with 2 outs.
Great patience there by Therian to earn the walk. And once again, 2 outs in the inning. That's some great patience and some great takes there by Therian to keep the inning moving. And now Ryan Land is going to get a conference on the mound. Up to 50 pitches in the game now.
Tyler Charlin will be the batter. He struck out swinging his first time up, and it just feels like the way this game is going, EGC really needs a big 2-out hit right here.
Yeah, they have 2 men on, 1 in scoring position. LaGrave, a pretty quick runner there over at second, so a great chance here to at least get in the game.
Or even if you can get him on base, you could force the tying run at the plate if you're EGC. So that's another thing to look out for. If they can get another runner on, they could get the tying run, or at least bring home a run to bring home the tying run.
That pitch misses low for ball 1.
Now with that last couple of pitches, Land is now over the 50-pitch mark here in the top of the 4th.
That's in for a called strike. Now Land has pitched a half inning more than his counterpart and is still 5 pitches behind the pace set by Snavely. And Charlin looks at that pitch down and in. Count runs to 2-1.
Andrew talked about Sammy Greco warming up in the bullpen for EGC. He is on deck.
And that's hit well to right over the head of Smith. That rolls to the base of the wall. 1 run is in to score. Therian is held at third, and it's an RBI double for Tyler Charlin. EGC is on the board. It's now 4-1.
And Charlin just drills that right over the head of Smith. Smith thought he had a chance right where he was standing and realized that that ball was flying fast over his head, and it lands towards the wall at the warning track, and that's going to allow EGC's first run to come home. They're in the game.
And that's hit the other way. Foul ball. Just foul off the bat of Sammy Greco.
Well, Joe, that looked like it had a chance from here.
Just a couple of inches.
That was very close.
Viewers got to see that last double, and you saw it. Harrison Smith just couldn't read the ball off the bat, leading to that double. And now giving the tying run to the plate for EGC right here, as the count now goes to 1-1.
That ball was hit very hard. A tough play for Smith. He would have had to play that ball perfectly. He took 1 step in, and that was too much. Also, he's in the shade. That ball coming out of the sunlight. And the 1-1 is sliced the other way, and that's down for a hit. 1 run is in to score. Heading home is Charlin. He is safe, and we have a 1-run game. It's now 4-3.
And a big hit changes the whole complexion of this game, as now EGC now within a run. All of a sudden here, that's a big hit allowing 2 runs to come home. That was a soft bloop to the right side and allows enough time for 2 runners to come home. EGC now within a run of Massapequa.
2 RBI single for Sammy Greco of the bloop variety. That one just got down in shallow right field. Here's a second look.
You see it right there, just falling into right field. But what a job by EGC with the base running, just getting in there in time before the tag was made. And guys, we now have a 1-run ball game, and we said it with 2 outs. That's been the common theme of this tournament. It's showing here again today. Is now EGC's have attacked for 3 runs, all coming with 2 outs.
Our semifinal matchups and now our championship game have not disappointed, and you said it, Nick. 2-out hitting has been such a big part of it. Now, the Vuvuzelas came out, and I do believe that The Vuvuzelas have officially been silenced from the third base coaching box.
They have been retired after this entire week, it looks like.
Well, at one point during yesterday's pregame, we had a Vuvuzela right over my left shoulder, and
we did.
It was a bit distracting. That pitch is in for a called strike to Trent Sales. He's behind 1-2.
If Lang can get a strikeout right here to keep his team up 1 run, that would be big.
And that is looked at for a called strike 3. So Land gets out of the inning with a 1-run lead intact, but EGC scores 3 times, and we have a ball game. It's 4-3, headed to the home fourth. And we are back from South Shore Little League, where we have a 1-run ball game. Our score now 4-3. And Nick, I said it before, we had 7 runs in the first couple of innings yesterday in our first game, that game between Massapequa Coast and South Shore. No score through the first 2.5 innings here today at South Shore. Now 7 runs on the board.
And you just knew these offenses at some point were going to get some runs on the board. It only took a second time in the order to get that to happen. And how about the resilience of EGC after a frustrating inning they had going the last time on the field? They were able to put up 3 runs, all coming with 2 outs. Now make this a 1-run game. We could be in for a great finish here.
Well, Andrew, you saw these two teams play one another in pool play. This game now becoming very reminiscent of that matchup.
Oh, yeah, and EGC came ahead with a 3-0 lead. Massapequa able to come back, make it 5-3. EGC last chance was able to tie it at 5, and they took it an extra inning. So back and forth matchup in Game 2 of pool play between these two teams, and we're seeing it again here in the championship.
And Massapequa cannot afford that to happen again, as they really do not want a second game against EGC to fall away from them.
And that's sliced into shallow left field for a base hit off the bat of Harrison Smith. And Massapequa Coast has the leadoff man on here in the fourth.
That's exactly what you want. Leadoff man Harrison Smith gets on with a solid contact base hit into left. And this game is close. There's still a lot of baseball to play, so you want to keep hitting that ball as hard as you can if you're Massapequa and keep adding as much insurance as you can to that lead.
And, Joe, we've seen Harrison Smith a lot so far this week. He does a lot of opposite field hitting.
And there's a bunt. And a bunt single it is, as Tabone beats the throw to first. 2 on, nobody out for Massapequa Coast.
Wow, that was a great effort, too, from White. White ran up quickly from third, and he made that all-in-one motion throw with the bare hand down to first. It just wasn't quick enough to beat the runner, but what a great effort.
Both pitchers are now at an even 61 pitches. Louis Kracko, the batter, big opportunity for him, and he swings and misses for strike 1.
Second look at that bunt single. And good base running once again for Massapequa Coast. Now giving them a chance here to bring home a run.
Kracko out in front of that off-speed pitch, couldn't hold the swing. He's been fooled on a couple of those now. Kracko in a 2-strike call. The 0-2 on its way. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Big strikeout for Snavely there to get the first out of the inning on a big hitter, too, in Kracko.
Look at that sidearm delivery, fooled him on that pitch.
And we've seen Snavely go to that with 2 strikes more than once. Pays off there. And there's another swing and miss by James Steck.
So Harrison Smith kind of leaning towards third, trying to go to third base, but be wise for him not to go on that. Cannot afford to give up outs in the base path.
Now, would you say the backstops are about the same, or it was a little bit closer at Great Kills? I think Great Kills might be a bit closer.
I would say Great Kills is closer.
I agree. A little bit more room behind home plate here at South Shore. Not much, but a bit more. As we have another swing, and just getting a piece with Steck. However, he's behind 1-2.
See if Snavely goes back to that sidearm delivery here on 1-2. Try to get back-to-back strikeouts.
A second consecutive punch out here would be huge. Hard to believe that last strikeout was just his first. That's it on the ground to second. Parkinson throws to Seeberger covering, and they get the out at second base.
Well, they get the sure out at second there, the close one I should say, and they didn't want to risk anything.
That was wise.
2 gone now. And Andrew Savalos will be the batter. He reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Comes to bat here with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Massapequa Coast hoping to extend their lead. And Savalos takes a strike.
Look how closely Des White was playing on that one. Waiting on a bunt attempt, potentially, as the corners are in for EGC.
And Savalos chases the breaking ball for a strike. He's quickly behind 0-2.
We've seen a lot of that now, the last couple of batters, guys. A lot of swings and misses from a pitch in the dirt.
Comes the 0-2. And Savalos held up on that high fastball.
Snavely now over the 70 pitch mark.
And the 1-2 just missed.
Snavely thought he had it.
The EGC contingent wanted it, I can tell you that.
I was just about to say that the supporters wanted it too.
That's unsurprising. Comes the 2-2. That's inside for ball 3.
Savalos, great patience and keeping a great eye here in this at-bat. Trying to extend the lead and the inning here for Massapequa.
Joe, how many times have we seen in this tournament from 0-2 to 3-2?
Quite a few. As that was foul tipped. The EGC fans thought that Snavely had a strikeout. This next pitch will be number 75. Comes the payoff pitch. And that's in the dirt for ball 4.
And that's big because, as you mentioned, now Snavely up to 75 pitches in the game, and now the bases are loaded for Massapequa. They'll extend the inning, and this could very well be it for Snavely here in this 4th.
Joey Sessa, the speedster, now up to the plate. Force at any base here for EGC.
And Sessa swings and misses for strike 1. He legged out an infield single his last time up. And if he puts the ball in play, you have to be decisive. Force at any base. Sessa takes low. Here comes the 1-1. That misses down and away.
Nowhere to put the batter too, so Snavely needs to get an out right here. Does not want to walk in another run.
And the 2-1 is chopped foul. Snavely 1 strike away from stranding the bases loaded.
This next pitch, guys, will be pitch number 80 of the day for him. So you would have to think this will probably be his last batter of the game.
Comes the 2-2. That's chopped softly, and White wisely goes to third with it, steps on the bag, and the side is retired. Massapequa Coast strands the bases loaded. Our score remains 4-3, heading to the 5th.
Attention, local businesses and professionals. Isn't it time to elevate your game? Now you can advertise your business or product on PDF Sports Network. Your ad will appear on all of our broadcasts, including this one. Don't have a commercial? We'll make one for you, absolutely free. What better way to showcase your product and brand while supporting the best local sports, teams, and leagues? Call now at 732-723-8189 or visit us at pdfsportsnet.com.
Fifth inning about to get underway from South Shore Little League in this 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship game. There you see the pitch counts up on the scoreboard in center field. Ryan Land will throw pitch number 62 to open up the fifth inning, so there's a very realistic chance that he could potentially go the distance in this game should they choose to push him that far. On the other side, Carter Snavely is at 80 pitches. You have to figure he probably has one batter left, maybe two if he gets a quick out.
Well, Joe, I think it all depends on what his offense does here before he gets back up. We saw Sammy Greco was warming up a few innings ago, so we'll see what the situation here is in the fifth inning.
And I'd be curious to see if they do bring him out for that bottom of the fifth inning to try to get that one or potentially two outs. So we'll have to see what EGC does. But they would like to tie the game first before heading into that bottom of the fifth.
Well, personally, I'm a proponent of giving your pitcher a clean inning. So I would think that Snavely's probably done as that pitch runs up and in. And Snavely was hit by the pitch, so he leaves the mound, heads to the batter's box, and quickly takes first base on the hit batsman.
And now gives EGC the go-ahead runner at the plate. So with one swing into the gap, EGC could tie this game.
Second baseman, Eli Parkinson.
Eli Parkinson will be the batter. Parkinson 0 for 1, grounded out to short his first time up. That ball sent foul.
You see early on with this at bat, trying to advance the runner into scoring position. We'll see if Parkinson tries to lay down the bunt here.
Yeah, you see the infield for Massapequa playing real close.
Pipia was very far in as that's popped up on the infield. And catch is made over at second base by Henchy for out number 1.
So Land gets an early out there. We'll see now if he can get out Henry Rounds here with one away.
That will bring Henry Rounds to the plate. Rounds singled his first time up. And he slices one down the first base line. And they get the out there. As the runner comes off second base,
wow.
Snavely is tagged out.
Oh, wow.
And the inning is over. He overslid the bag, came off second, and was tagged out.
I don't think he was expecting to throw, guys, a second.
Heads up play at first base by Brady Hunt to throw behind Snavely, and that will bring the top half of the fifth to a close. Our score remains 4-3. Massapequa Coast coming to the plate when we come back.
60.
And we are back from South Shore Little League. One quick out to open up the home half of the fifth as Carter Kemper grounded one to third. When we came back from break, we got a look at that play over at second base. And as we mentioned, Snavely just took a bit of a turn at second, and that was enough to tag him out. Opening up the home fifth inning, one quick out, and as we mentioned, quick pitching change. New pitcher is Sammy Greco. He was warming up for quite some time throughout this game. And he finally gets in. As if I'm not mistaken, Carter Snavely finished with 82 pitches?
81.
81?
Came into the inning with 80 and threw the one pitch.
One pitch, one out. And I mentioned it before. A lot of the time you don't like to give the lineup a third look at a pitcher. And with the top of the order coming up, they change pitchers as that's hit well out to center. And the catch is made at the fence by LaGrave.
He's done it again, Joe. He made another stupendous catch on that one. Unbelievable.
That ball was hit hard by Land. That was driven. That looked like it had a chance. It definitely did have a chance, but what a grab at the wall by LaGrave. What an effort to keep this a one-run game.
Land got under one earlier. He did not get under that one. And leaping at the fence, LaGrave makes a great catch. The second nice play we've seen from him out in center in as many days. And now with 2 outs, Gavin Weiss will be the batter as he quickly gets ahead 1-0.
Our viewers just got a second look of that catch. LaGrave had a big play in center field yesterday. Another big play there.
And that ball is smoked into left center for a base hit out of the reach of Seeberger. And Gavin Weiss is on with a 2-out base hit.
We're not going to rob him of that one as that was hit hard through the hole past short. Seeberger out of the reach and 1 on and 1 out here for Massapequa.
Well, think of it this way. Another 2-out hit. We've seen in this game, we saw EGC with 2 outs to have some runs in them. Can Massapequa Coast now do the same?
That's fouled straight back by Jackson Henchy. Henchy 1 for 2, has reached base twice, once on a single and once on a fielder's choice. The 0-1 on its way. That's in for a called strike.
So quickly a 2-strike hole here. Greco a strike away from giving his team an opportunity to try to tie the game in the 6th.
The 0-2. And a good job by Henchy to get a piece there.
Massapequa would love some insurance runs right now. If they could do it with 2 outs, that would be big for them.
Live chat getting a bit heated right now. Just remember the core tenets of Little League Baseball. Let's try and exemplify those in the chat.
Sportsmanship all around, whether you're here or watching at home.
Just remember, the kids go back and watch these games. Let's make it a memorable broadcast. We don't want to have to hide the live chat. So that sails to the backstop, and that will allow the runner to advance to second. So we've talked about it so many times already. Wild pitches, passed balls, moving runners into scoring position, and now with 2 outs and a 2-2 count, Henchy is at the plate in a big RBI spot.
One big single brings him home from second, so this is a big at-bat now, more than it was before.
That misses outside. Count full 3-2.
If Henchy were to get on, it'd be Brady Hunt on deck from Massapequa.
First base now open. Here comes the 3-2. And that's it out to left, slicing toward the line. But the catch is made by White, who is now in left field. And the side is retired. Massapequa Coast strands a runner in scoring position. We head to the 6th, and we have a 1-run ball game. And we are back from South Shore Little League. 1-run game entering the 6th. And Ryan Land is back out to the mound for Massapequa Coast. He will make a bid for a complete game effort. He still has 19 pitches to spare before he reaches that 85-pitch limit.
Joe, he went quickly through that 5th inning, and I'm pretty sure he went into that 5th inning with just 61. I'm pretty sure he got out in just 5 pitches. So that's huge for Ryan Land to try and come into the 6th and hold the lead for Massapequa.
And Joe, you could tell us where in the batting order EGC is coming into this top of the 6th with their final 3 outs, trying to tie this game.
And the chat is correct. Ryan's got it. 11-12-1 due up for EGC. They hope to see the top of their lineup get one more chance against Land. That would be their 3rd look against him, as Jack Connolly takes a called strike.
Now or never for EGC. They'll try to tie the game once again, like they did already against Massapequa early on in pool play.
These two teams battled for 8 innings when they met in pool play, and EGC came away with the win. If they don't win this game, the errors will loom large. That pitch just missed as the count goes to 1-2.
And you hate to have stuff like that be the reason you lose a game, like especially of this magnitude. So EGC would love to tie the game right here.
That pitch was tipped, and unable to hold on there was the catcher Tabone. You could hear Connolly just got a piece. And there's a swing and a miss for strike 3.
Huge strikeout for the first out. And now EGC is down to their final 2 outs to bring Bombard to the plate. They do have the top of the order and Des White after him.
We haven't seen a lot of strikeouts in this game. These two teams have done a great job putting the ball in play, forcing each other's defenses to make plays in the field. And we've seen some very nice defensive plays throughout this game by both sides.
And Land, is, since giving up those 3 runs, is starting to get into a groove at the strikeout to start the inning, and now is 1 strike away from back-to-back punch-outs.
Bombard behind 0-2. That misses outside. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on the EGC extra hitter. That's sent foul. Back up and over the seating bowl. Another 1-2. Sent foul again over the seats. Good job by Bombard here to perhaps run up Land's pitch count a bit more. And that's chopped to the left side over the glove of Pipia and into left field for a base hit.
The tying run is on here for EGC. That took a big bounce right over Pipia into the outfield as that ball was hit real hard on the ground.
It looked like right off contact, Pipia was going to have an opportunity to make the play. But you're right, it took a huge bounce into left field. And now the go-ahead runs at the plate.
Go-ahead run at the dish is Des White. That last pitch, a strike, number 78 for Ryan Land. That's fouled back. Now, nobody getting warm at the moment. So I'd be curious to see who the next in line to pitch for Massapequa Coast would be should we get to that point.
And Joe, we've seen Des White's power so far. He hit a home run our first night covering EGC late in that game in the 6th inning. Boy, would he love to do something right here. Is behind 2 strikes. But if he can get a big hit into the gap or maybe over the wall, this EGC crowd will go nuts.
White 1 for 2 in this game. Behind 0-2 here. And he slices that one foul and out of play. Pipia gave it a look, but that just reached the seating bowl. Count remains 0-2. That misses way upstairs.
Now 82 pitches for Land. Could be a possibility. This could be his last batter if White keeps the at-bat going.
He would love to get an out on one of the next 2 pitches. White fouled that one off his ankle. And those sting.
Those definitely sting.
A lot of the time it depends whether or not that catches you on the side of the foot, catching some of that dirt around home plate, or if it catches you straight on the ankle.
And you could see kind of hobbling just a little bit.
White will try and walk it off. When he returns to bat, the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. This next pitch will be number 84 for Land. If he does not get White out here, he will not have a chance to complete this game. And some of that pitching depth that we spoke about during the pregame will be put to the test.
You see White trying to take a step in and see if he can make a swing after hitting that ball off of his leg. But it looks like he is ready to go. The Land will do it again here on 1-2.
1-2 on its way. And that's hit sharply to short. Backhanded by Weiss. He throws to first just in time.
What a throw by Weiss over from short. Had to corral that down in the dirt as he had to get down for that one. And a great whip over to first for the second out. What a play by Weiss.
It would have been a close play at second. And now keep in mind, now EGC has the tying run in scoring position. And it will be up to the newest pitcher for Massapequa Coast to get them that final out and win them this championship.
They're keeping Land in, Nick. He's at 84.
He's at 84,
he
right?
Got the out he needed on that pitch.
Right on time.
The big question is, did they have a play at second? Because now the tying run stands in scoring position with EGC down to their final out.
The viewers got to look at it. It would have been a very close play at second. It looked like maybe they would have gotten him in time.
That one sliced foul. Well, Weiss has played a very good shortstop, and he had to hustle to get that throw over to first in time. He was able to stop the ball. It looked like he may have mishandled it for just a second in his glove, but he recovered and made the throw in time.
And if you're a fan of drama, guys, what a spot right here. One single ties the game. Massapequa's 1 out away from winning it.
And that's sliced toward third. Throw across the diamond low, and the runner is safe at first. Seeberger beat it out, and he looks hurt. He gave it everything he had, busting down the first base line. Pipia bounced the throw, and that was the difference.
Well, the drama continues here.
That was such a close play at first, in my estimation.
I'll try to see if I can slow that down while we have a pitching change coming up. But it was a very close call at first base.
We will slow it down and we'll stay with you. I'm sure we had a great look at it. Nick is getting the look first.
The call is right. I think he's safe.
Andrew and I will take a look as well.
I think the bounce.
I have to agree. I think he's safe. The bounce was the difference.
The bounce was 100% the difference. If the throw gets there in time, he's definitely out. But because the ball bounced in the field of play, it allowed the runner to get to first base.
Boy, that's so close. So close.
And what an effort from Land. 1 out away from finishing this game off. Was a ground ball and a good throw away from getting out of it and getting his team the championship. But now it's going to be up to the newest Massapequa Coast pitcher to get them this win here at South Shore.
The wind picking up just a bit as Massapequa Coast will make a pitching change. If I'm not mistaken, that was Harrison Smith who came in from the outfield, and it is.
And Joe.
We've seen him more than once already.
We have. We saw him on Monday. And how about this situation he came into that game? He had a bases loaded 1 out situation he came in, got a double play ball to end the inning. Now he's got first and third 2 outs, again 1 out away from getting his team the win. But Harrison Smith looking to once again be the savior for this team and get him a huge win here today.
He will come in the highest pressure of high-pressure situations.
Absolutely.
We've spoken about it, how important it is to have pitchers who are capable in these spots. And Harrison Smith, no stranger to these situations so far, coming out of the bullpen in this tournament, and he will look to record 1 more huge out. First man he will face is Carter LaGrave, and were it not for LaGrave,
right,
this could potentially be a 2-run game.
A huge catch in center field. LaGrave also was big yesterday late in that game for EGC. Got them the first of those runs in that 6th inning. So he now has an opportunity to tie this game with the base knock, and if something were to get into the gap, potentially give his team a late lead.
Carter LaGrave announced into the game. The tying run stands over at third base. EGC down to their final out in this championship game.
Quick time called there. As both players are ready, and we are ready for the first pitch of this at-bat.
Smith delivers. And that's hit back toward the mound. Weiss has it at short. He steps on second, and the ball game is over. Massapequa Coast has won the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. They survive a potential rally by EGC in the 6th, and they take the win 4-3.
And that ball was hit hard. It took just one pitch for Harrison Smith to finish this game. And how fitting. Hard hit on the ground to Weiss over at short, and like he's been doing all game long, whips that ball over, and that'll do it. Massapequa wins it 4-3.
What a game, Nick. This one very reminiscent of the extra inning game that Andrew and Dave covered during pool play. We saw 2 great semifinal matchups yesterday. This game topped both of those.
Absolutely, and a great way to end it. We had the highest of situations with first and third, 2 outs, the go-ahead run at first, tying run at third, and a great job by Harrison Smith once again, Joe, coming into another high-pressure situation, only needing that one pitch to get the final out of this game and send his team off with a championship victory.
Well, congratulations to EGC for making it here. This game certainly could have gone either way. It was a back-and-forth, very entertaining game. Plenty of opportunities for both teams, and just to make it here, these East Greenbush-Castleton players did a tremendous job. We saw them come from behind yesterday and pick up the win. We saw them come from behind against Massapequa Coast in pool play, but we've spoken about it, Andrew. It is just so tough to beat the same team twice, and they needed to do so twice in 1 week in a game that Massapequa Coast is very accustomed to playing in.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially Massapequa going up 4-0. That was a commanding inning to go ahead for Massapequa, and East Greenbush was able to come back and make it a 1-run ball game just that next inning. And, you know, they made it close in the end as well, just like they did in Game 2 of pool play against Massapequa. They were able to come back in that one. Not today. Massapequa was able to close them out and keep that from happening, and well-deserved for them.
So with this win, Massapequa Coast will move on to Metro Region tournaments. Those tournaments will help send teams toward the Little League World Series. As for EGC, their season comes to an end with a defeat here today, but no reason for them to hang their heads.
Absolutely.
They played very well throughout this tournament, but we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the difference in this game, and ultimately the difference proved to be the errors in the field. A pair of errors in that inning. It helped Massapequa Coast put 4 runs up on the board, and ultimately 1 run being the deciding factor sees the errors looming large.
You had 2 errors in that inning, and the difference of how those runs came in as well. You had a walk, a hit by a pitch, 2 fielder's choices. Those errors really loomed large, and the reason why, unfortunately, EGC season comes to an end. Massapequa Coast got a big break. It was able to hold on to win this game. But, guys, you could not have asked for a better finish here to this tournament.
And how about the resilience of this Massapequa Coast team? They have found themselves behind in games, as we saw in the semifinal. They were able to come from behind and beat South Shore. In this game, they found themselves in some very tough positions late. Also, that ball hit by Ryan Land out to center field that was caught by LaGrave, that could very easily demoralize you a bit. We saw great defensive plays by both sides. Neither team fazed by it. Neither team fazed by the big stage in this game, and both performed very well in this championship game.
Yeah, right, and Ryan Land on the mound was a big part of this win for Massapequa as he went almost the entire way. Harrison Smith came in just for 1 pitch to finish this one up. So he's a big part of this win as well for Massapequa and their defense.
No question about it. The pitching on the Massapequa side, great start from Ryan Land, as you mentioned. Smith closing the door, but Carter LaGrave played a big role in this game,
did,
too.
absolutely.
He made the catch in center. Snavely got the start and pitched well.
Yeah, no, we had a great pitcher performance overall from these two teams. And unfortunately for Snavely, the only reason why he was to come out with the loss was we talked about those errors, some mistakes in his command in that inning, and that ultimately cost him at the end of the day. Massapequa Coast, though, they take a big sigh of relief for this one. Once again, having to come back and hold on to win this game. It looked like it was going to be down to the wire and that they were going to potentially blow it in that last inning, but Harris Smith did the job, got the final out of the inning, and a big win for Massapequa Coast. Two big wins this past 2 days. Yesterday against South Shore, and now today against EGC.
And in that last inning, the throw from third base that allowed the inning to continue. Great hustle on that play as well by Tyler Seaberger. Credit to him. Ran so hard that he was shaken up at the end of that play, but Massapequa Coast was able to rebound from that as well. That miscue in the field right there, really their only miscue out in the field during that game. One additional miscue by EGC in the field, the difference maker in this one. But again, they have nothing to hang their heads over. They performed incredibly well in this tournament, earned a spot in the championship, very deserving team, and they pushed Massapequa Coast to the absolute limit.
Yeah, and absolutely. And, we saw it. They were able to face each other. I think that was big for this game, to come into this game and face each other again and get a rematch, especially with how close that game was and sending it to extra innings. And that's why I think this game was so close, and Massapequa was just able to come out on top. And what a performance once again, just from both sides defensively.
Well, as for everyone watching in the live chat and who has watched all week long, we thank everyone who has tuned in. This game got very close to 1,000 unique viewers at a time. Of course, credit goes to these players for putting on a show. They helped bring in this audience. We were just here to relay you the sights and sounds, but I think I speak for you, Andrew, and for you, Nick, saying we had a blast all week long.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been so fun watching these kids perform, and it's been amazing to see how great every single one of these kids have been in this tournament. I mean, they are just so skilled, and we said it at the beginning in our opening when, on day one, just thousands of teams, and these are just 8 of them coming from those thousands of teams. It's just mind-blowing to think about, and just great skill from every single one of these kids on every single one of these teams.
As a kid that played Little League World Series myself and, has played Little League all the time and now watching the Little League World Series, these games are always fun and very highly competitive, and we have seen that throughout this entire tournament, especially these last 2 days with the semifinals and the finals here today. An unbelievable tournament. Great to be on the call for every single one of the games that we were able to do here this entire week, not only at Great Kills, but here today at South Shore. An overall great experience, an overall great tournament. Congratulations to Massapequa Coast.
And speaking of Massapequa Coast and the runners-up, EGC, they are about to be presented with their respective trophy, medals for the runner-ups, and with that, we will turn it over to public address as the players are presented with their awards following the conclusion of this year's tournament. I will come back on the microphone one final time to officially sign off, but until then, this has been Joe Foreman alongside Andrew Rotundo and Nick Bavona on the call, Pat Gilorenzo, our camera operator, and David Pizzuto, also one of our engineers and the co-owner of the PDF Sports Network alongside me. He was with us all week long up until today's game. Thank you to him, and thank you to everyone who has made our broadcast this week possible. Now we shift the attention to the stars of the show one final time as the players receive their awards following this championship game. This has been PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. Trophy presentation to come.
Nice straight line, guys. Nice straight line. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unbelievable championship game of the New York State Finals. Both teams, unreal. You guys were great, both teams. The two best New York State Little League Division teams, right here, right here. On behalf of our state president, Benny Camello, and board of directors, I want to thank you for participating in this week-long tournament. Now, we're getting ready, and then we move on to the next step, which would be Bristol, Connecticut in the regional, and hopefully right on to the World Series when our group. I want to thank, of course, I want to start with Mr. Ben Defenbaugh and Rob Pascal for hosting the great tournament this week. Give them a nice round of applause. We have advanced coverage, unbelievable this week. Unbelievable. Picture all the teams. Help all my AEA staffs that came down to help. I want to thank you for them. Because how much goes into these tours, especially when you're playing with the boys. And then I want to especially thank one person that really grabbed the bull by the horn and did a lot of the work, Mr. Johnson Gary, right here. So, last Sunday we met with all the coaches. Monday we started the games, play pool play, and these two teams. I watched the game, and it was fantastic. Just fantastic. Two teams. I got to give you both credit. Two class act teams. Great game. I'm going to be expecting a lot out of you guys, Massapequa, when you get up there. So let's start by bringing up Mr. Joe Franchini. He's Greenbush-Castleton. I also want to point out we do have Mr. Gary Quill and his wife right out there in the stands. He's been a long-time state guy. He's been in charge of a lot of things. Does a lot of good things for his kids. Later.
Hey, congratulations. What a battle. 2 games, incredible, amazing. So proud of you guys. So proud of this team. So proud of these families. I'd like to thank the fellows in the boat at both fields. Incredible jobs. Class act all the way around. One of the best state tournaments, probably the best state.
I just followed the kid running fastest and instead of going I got him.
I gotta say, it was really kept in for the kids. Thanks so much. I can say to these fellas, can't be any prouder. Tell you, 4-3 game in New York State, we did this a long time. That's what it is about. Hopefully it makes you guys battle tested even more. Take care. All right. Des White. Alan Spearier. Jack Conley.
Greenbush-Castleton. Yeah. All right. Time. Here we go. Let's bring up John Henchy, Massapequa Coast. Congratulations. Great job. Unbelievable.
All right. Anybody that knows me, I'm a man of very few words, so I'm going to make this short and sweet first. Ben, thanks for being a great host for this weekend. We've had our battles over the last 3 years. You're really gracious with us, always with us. Nothing but good to say that. And Rob, this is great. Boys, we've been together for almost 6 years now. 3 state championships in a row. I don't think it's ever been done in Innings history. Incredibly proud of you boys, but from Brian and myself, we always say, it's a step 3. We got 2 more to go, okay, boys? All right, here we go. First, number 99, Brian Lane. '87, Andrew Savalos. Number 5, Jackson Henchy. Number 13, Louis Fracco. Number 30, Carter Kemper. Number 12, Harrison Smith. Number 2, Brady Hunt. Number 3, Tommy Tabone. Number 52, Gavin Weiss. Number 18, James Steck. I don't know if the live stream's going, but it's Matteo Pipia, not Pipia. Matteo Pipia. And number 11, Joey Sessa. And just real quick, East Greenbush, we played you guys when you're 10, 11, and 12. You guys got better every year. We battled every year. Proud of you guys. It's great playing you. And Craig Garland, our league president, thanks for coming through every day, man. Bristol, here we come.
All right. Great job, guys. Everybody. All right, present the New York State Champion Trophy. Here we go, Massapequa Coast. I just want to let you know how good you guys. And so. Last piece of the puzzle. Let me get it out. This is the big part. You definitely need this to go up to the next level. And don't play. Behind home plate. All right, here we go. Where's John? And here's the champion, New York State Little League champion banner. Jump in there. Got it? All right, good luck.
Joe Foreman back with you here on the PDF Sports Network alongside Andrew Rotundo and Nick Bavona. And one final time, we just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was tuned in all week long. We had well over 15,000 views for 2 separate days of our tournament coverage. We were here beginning on Monday all the way through to today's championship. If you like what you saw this week, be sure to let everyone who is helping to organize this event and working in administration for both Great Kills and South Shore know it. We hope to be back again next season as Staten Island will be hosting this championship for each of the next 2 years. So let them know you'd like to have us back if you like what you saw, but we wanted to be sure to come back on the air and say thank you one final time, as well as congratulations one final time to this year's New York State Little League Baseball champion, Massapequa Coast, and to the runner-up, East Greenbush-Castleton Little League. So that wraps up our coverage for the week. Massapequa Coast has been presented with their championship banner, and we thank everyone once again for tuning in. This has been PDF Sports Network coverage of the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship. Massapequa Coast defeats East Greenbush-Castleton by a final score of 4-3. Everyone enjoy the rest of your Saturday.